Hello, this is Paul from quickandmobile.com, and as you can see, I am in a charcoal color Wheellator. The Wheellator is a hybrid walking and wheelchair device. Right now I'm using it as a wheelchair, and this device, we have been having an almost impossible time actually keeping it in stock. People love it. I suspected that they would. People do. This holds up to 265 pounds, and for the most part, people use it as a walker. People also use it as a wheelchair. Now, I have this device in wheelchair mode. I'm going to kind of get out of the way because we have somebody that is exiting the parking lot. But what I'm doing here is I am making a video demonstrating what the Wheellator can and cannot do, because so many people want to know what the Wheellator can do, what the Wheellator can't do. Now, we're on top of a hill, and if we take a look around, it's spring. There are oak trees all over the place in Florida. They are dropping all of their fuzzies or their pollen, and they're getting new leaves. I mean, it literally goes from winter to spring like that over here, or summer. But let's take a look here and see what we can do, because I'm in wheelchair mode and I'm in pretty uneven terrain, and I am going to do the best I can to handle this terrain. Now, anytime that I'm on a hill, you basically have a kind of difficult situation, or kind of a hard situation. So I'm going to show you what the limitations of this Wheellator are, and I'm going to show you basically if I decided to use this Wheellator as a walking assistive device, it's going to help me overcome what I'm not able to do as a wheelchair. Now, I do want to point out a couple things just really quickly. I can adjust the actual joystick in case it looks like I'm a little bit uncomfortable, and I can actually drop those handles down. So there's a lot of things I can do to kind of change this around, and I would, if you haven't already done so, I would suggest and encourage you to subscribe to our channel, or if you like the video too. But we have a lot of other footage about this Wheellator. Now, I'm going to show you basically, I'm going to have a hardship over here, and I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to be truthful, and I'm going to show you in two different ways how I'm going to handle this. Now, any device, and I do have two 250 watt motors in this Wheellator, right in the rear wheels, and the way that this is set up, it gives me a lot of abilities to travel. Now, ideally to me, if I'm walking 70% of the time and I get tired and use this as a wheelchair about 30% of the time, that is the idea of the Wheellator. If I'm using this as a wheelchair 90% of the time, and I'm basically using it as a walker maybe 10% of the time, I would think that you would be better off getting a regular walker and then getting a full motorized foldable power wheelchair that's just as light and just as portable. Because watch what I'm about to do. Okay, I'm going down some of the worst terrain that you can go down because I'm on a slope. It's dirty. I have a bunch of fuzzies, and here I am in a wheelchair, and basically we see that wheels are spinning. I've lost a lot of, well, I'm sliding basically. Here we go. So I told you that I was going to demonstrate the shortcomings of the Wheellator. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn this joystick off. Going to basically fold this behind here. I'm going to fold this behind here. I'm going to fold this here. I am going to fold my footrests up. I'm going to fold this outside. Why am I making a video like this? Why would I show somebody a device that is having a bit of a hardship? Now, if I leave this here, you can see that the joystick is going to rub on the wheel a little bit. So I'm going to kind of do a couple things to minimize that. I can either do this. If I want to have this over here, I still have the joystick rubbing, or I can basically entirely take the joystick off altogether, because the joystick does separate and completely come off of the device. So you can kind of see, I mean, the joystick is where you're going to charge the device as well. I do have to take this all the way off, and I'm going to do two things. I'm going to put this right here in the basket underneath the device, and I'm just going to take a couple seconds to get this
You
back.
could have just...
I could have just put that in the basket too, you're right, but...
No, you could have just flipped the arm.
And I could, you're right, I could have just flipped the arm and it would do the same thing. Now, basically, I have this in resistive walking. Yes, there's a bird that's saying hello to us, so let's take a look here.
King woodpecker.
A king woodpecker. Maybe we can take a look at it real quick. Those are rare. That's like a woody woodpecker type of bird. Okay, well, let's take a look back here. So I'm basically in setting 1, setting 2, setting 3. So this is going to give me resistance. So I'm able to walk down the hill. Okay, I'm taking my hands off this. You see, gravity does not bring the Wheellator down, and I'm able to stabilize my body while I'm walking down the hill. And if I fell, it basically just locks up and braces me. So that's the true magic. And I can push these handlebars down, locks the device, and I can sit and take a rest if I need to sit and take a rest. And we can see that even if the device is locked, you kind of don't want to take a rest on a slippery hill because gravity is going to take you down the hill. So I want to go a little bit faster. I'm going to do M2, M3. I'm able to walk around a little bit. Maybe I can see that woodpecker, maybe not. Kind of went away a little bit. So you can see that this really, to me, is the proper way to use the Wheellator because I'm walking now and I'm basically walking down an area that I probably wouldn't be able to walk down before. So let's turn around and go up. Probably wondering, well, you put resistance in the Wheellator. What, you're going to be pushing that heavy thing up the hill? No, I'm not. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to that M and I'm going to put it on C1. I'm going to put it on C2 and I'm going to press that hand button down. And look at that.
Where's the hand button?
See that little thumbprint right there? I press that thumbprint down and that basically activates the joystick on the back. So if I had a person sitting in here as it was a wheelchair, and I'm going to slow it down a little bit more. I'm going to put it into C1 because I'm going up a pretty steep part of this hill and I don't want to give myself too much of a hardship here, but I do want to get up the hill. So we can see really one way that I demonstrated first as a wheelchair, you do have the ability very easily to go over flat surfaces, but if you're going on slopes, and if you're going on inclines, if you're going on declines, anything steep, you really want to consider using this as a walker.
Could you do the wheelchair up the hill?
Well, we can do the wheelchair up the hill. I'm sure that people would want to see that. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of just turn this off altogether, actually. So the power's off, and we can see that when the power's off, well, there you go. Gravity does what gravity's going to do, and it is a pretty steep hill. I'm going to turn the power on. Look what just happened. You can see, so I need to basically put it just in the 1. Look at that. See that? Basically stop me, so I have to kind of push it in order to move around. Now I'm in the middle of the hill here. So I'm basically giving this all the advantages of being in the middle of a hill, not at the bottom of a hill. I do want you to observe, this isn't moving because I have the device on back here. So you can have this in the manual mode or the resistance mode, and you're not going to be walking. Now I am going to have to connect the joystick again. So we'll do that. And I kind of like doing these real life videos here because I'm able to demonstrate in real time what it looks like using this device, getting things kind of changed. And you can see it has a little path, a little sliding path there. to allow you to either bring the front joystick forward or back. And we can see that we have kind of a little lock and key here to basically put that joystick together. And then it just, yeah, there's a couple little arrows right there.
Oh, there we go. Yes.
So you've got a little arrow there, a little arrow there. Sometimes you might want to put like a little bit of, I don't know, nail polish on it.
Or...
Okay, so we're going to basically,
So
that locked itself in place.
Pretty steep.
So it's stable for me, and I am on a steep hill right now. So I mean, this does answer a lot of questions.
So
now I'm going up.
So for going up, it's...
Going up right now, I'm not having a huge hardship. Down is no dice in this machine. But if I basically try to turn and correct myself while I'm going up, I am going to have a difficult time. So I like to show people really, and I mean, I've got plenty of power now. I'm basically on flat land, still on a hill, but I mean, I'm not, there's no silt, there's no dirt. I can stop, I can get out of the device, and I can literally instantly turn this into a walker again. But I do like to show people in real life situations, how does this stuff work? Is going to be easy. What are the pitfalls of it? Because if somebody gets one of these and thinks that, you know, you could just slap a propeller on here and, you know, do flying in it as well. I mean, it's not a do everything device. It's a hybrid walking device. And to me, this thing is one of the best mobility aids that I've ever had the privilege and the pleasure of reviewing in my entire life. I can't tell you how many people have asked us, we'll go down a hill and up a hill here. Can't tell you how many people have asked us about a device that they can use as a walker and the wheelchair. Now, keep in mind, if this was in the wheelchair situation, I could act as an attendant and basically drive them forward. Now, I'm basically using this in power mode right now, and well, I'm about to go down a hill, so I don't want to power myself down a hill. So maybe we'll go into level 2 resistance.
Be careful not to fall.
So I will be careful not to fall because I have the slip prevention. Locks it up. It says EE on the back of the joystick, and then it releases the tension in the motors. So this right here, I mean, even if it just prevents you from falling once, I mean, all it takes is one fall to create a big problem in your life in significant ways. So if I had a regular Wheellator, that's what I have right now, what would have happened to me there? Nothing to prevent my fall. Nothing to prevent me from going flat on my face. Nothing from preventing gravity from creating what's a beautiful good day into an absolutely horrible day in instance. So I turn this back on. I have resistance again. It's not running away from me. I'm pushing it, and again, what if I fall?
It's a great safety mechanism.
Best ever. So really, if you're thinking about getting a Wheellator, which I think is a great idea for a lot of people, especially if your doctor wants you to kind of keep moving. And I'm going to turn this from resistance mode into assistance mode because I'm going back up a hill. I'm pressing the thumb down. It has reverse also. I mean, this device really has so many things you can do, but it's keeping me stable, it's keeping my form well. I think that was a little bit too fast, so I wanted to slow it down a little bit. And as you can see, I'm going up a hill right now. So how to use the Wheellator to me is one of the most important things. What is the purpose of this tool? Is the purpose of this tool to be a wheelchair full-time? No, it's not, but it certainly gives you the confidence to get you out of binds, especially if we're in more of a flat surface. Then there's really no limitation as to what you can do with your mobility. But understanding how these devices work, what they're good for, what they're not good for, that's one of the best possible things that you can do. And of course, a lot of people, because they didn't make a whole lot of videos, the second I turned that off, you see what gravity does? Wasn't doing that until gravity decided to start changing the course of my day, or the course of where this device was sitting. So I've got a little handle right here. I'm gonna pull that handle up. I'm gonna fold this device up. I'm just gonna pick it up and slide it right in. There we go. Thank you so much for watching. This is Paul from Quick and Mobile.